Hey everybody, Coach Darren here. Fitness over 50 where we don't grow old. No, we age like a fine wine. And today is Throwback Thursday, where we look back on a triumph, on a challenge we faced that we overcame. We look back on our life, and it's a good time to reflect and see how far you've come. What I want to talk about is not giving up. Have you ever felt like just throwing in the towel? Have you ever felt like the odds were just stacked too much against you and you just can't keep going? Well, let me tell you, in the summer of 2014, so a long time, 6 years ago now, I tore my supraspinatus in the rotator cuff, in the right rotator cuff, which is like back here, and I had a partial tear of my bicep muscle. It was super painful. When I tried to sleep, it was just this terrible burning sensation. I couldn't lift my arm much more than to here. You know, I had very limited range of motion. It was bad. So I met with the doctor, met with the surgeon. They said that it's kind of routine. They can repair it. I was like, great. I went into surgery in September of 2014, and part of what they do when they do this type of surgery, rotator cuff surgery, is they do a nerve block. So they do a nerve block to cut off any feeling of your arm while they're doing what they're doing. You're also under general anesthesia, but so they cut off any type of movement or any sensation from the arm. Got out of surgery. Surgeon said everything went great, went according to plan, and the next day the nerve block hadn't worn off. I couldn't feel my arm, couldn't move my arm, completely paralyzed. The only way to move it is to lift it up, and keep it in the sling. Called. They said, sometimes it takes a little longer for the sensation to come back. And anyway, you're not going to want to come back too soon because it's going to be super painful when it does. Okay. I let another 2 days go by, so 72 hours later, arm still completely paralyzed, and I started to get nervous. So they told me to go to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room. They did all kinds of scans and tried to figure out what was going on, and that started my ordeal. It went on for about a month before I can just barely start to move my fingers and start to feel in my arm. I went through, I can't tell you how many physical therapy sessions, how many occupational therapy sessions. They had me going into a jar and trying to pull things out because I lost the ability to use my hand. I learned how to kind of write with my left hand, learned how to use the mouse with my left hand, and it took a long time. It was at least a year before I started to build up the strength back in my arm, and I still have really bad numbness throughout my forearm. My pinky doesn't really work, but you know what? I didn't give up. I kept pushing. Even to this day, I still push. I work on my grip strength, and this story is just about overcoming adversity. When my arm was completely paralyzed, it was terrifying. I didn't think I was going to get sensation back. I didn't think I'd be able to move my arm. But now, I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing, all kinds of workouts. And I didn't give up. I just kept, pushing and working hard. And every time they said, well, in physical therapy, try this, I tried it. Whatever occupational therapy told me to do, I did. And it was just every day a struggle. But with the struggle, you get stronger. Tough times make tougher people. So if you're facing adversity, if you're facing something like, a serious injury requiring surgery, you got to just, push through the struggle and keep going. I mean, this to me, when I reflect back, was a huge triumph. So this is a good Throwback Thursday story. I'd love to hear your Throwback Thursday story. Tell me something you struggle with that you overcame. And as always, give me a little heart. All right. I will talk to you all soon.